Hello to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and you are watching Poland Daily Culture. We continue to talk about movies and a very new production called I'll Find You. With me in the studio is Bożena Intrator, one of the screenwriters and one of the producers.
Yes.
And I would like to start talking about actors and people who take part in this movie, because I would say it's a phenomenon, and this is a huge congratulations also to you, that you managed to get so many, so I would say international cast in order to produce this movie and to create it. We have in main roles, and I would say those are a little bit less known people, but new actors, Adeline Clemens and Leo Suter.
Yes, Adelaide is pretty known. Actually, she played in a movie called Generation with Keanu Reeves, the main part opposite Keanu Reeves. And that was sort of a cult film. It is not like for masses, but very special. And she played in The Great Gatsby, one of the bigger roles, not that big, but she already started, and she is known already since her childhood. She was picked for TV series in Australia, and then as a child she was cast in the States, and so the family moved to the States because she was playing. So she's pretty experienced. And Leo, who played phenomenal Robert Pułaski, that was his first main part. He just came out of school from Oxford. He studied at Oxford, and he played in the theater there, main parts in all Shakespeare's plays. He went on a tour to Japan, and actually Fred Roos, one of our producers, who is still a casting legend, he found out somehow about Leo being so successful on this Japanese tour, playing Shakespeare, and I think this was one of the reasons why they thought that Leo would be the right person for us. I mean, we were thinking about different actors, and Martha, our director, Martha Coolidge, she was the person who made the final decisions about all the actors, because, you know, as a director, she was entitled to that.
So we have them, and but to be honest, Leo is playing. I mean, he looks and behaves very Polish, even though being British.
Yeah, he even learned some Polish. He can speak a few words. I mean, even 4 sentences. You know, he loved Poland. When he arrived in Poland, he fell in love with our crew, the Polish part of the crew too, and he was trying to pick up the language, and
hopefully not pick up the girls, because that's the thing that happens too much often, that actually Polish girls of course are the best, but they catch eyes of especially Americans.
But he is British. But yeah, I think when he was on set, he had a girlfriend. So he wasn't looking for anybody.
For a Polish girl.
Yeah, for a Polish girl. But he really liked everybody. I think most of our cast, they really loved being here. And we just were on the air 2 days ago. We had a Q&A and a cast party at Boca Raton in Florida. And he was there, I was Fred, Adelaide, and the young kids playing the characters.
Actually, they are very good, to be honest.
Yes, very special kids.
It's also trying featuring all of this, but they are taken less, I would say, as from The Secret Garden or from such kind of British movie a little bit.
Well, you know, the boy, he played a lot in theater as a child, and he played in the Game of Thrones. He was the young Ned Stark. The girl, you know, she is a genius violinist. You know, she plays violin since she was 5 years old.
Okay, so she's a real violinist.
Yeah, and she performed at Carnegie Hall when she was 8 years old.
Wow, so
and she's the youngest stipendist of
people.
Juilliard School of Music. Her mom is a violin professor at NYU in New York. but she played in many TV series already, and she played opposite Nicole Kidman, Al Pacino. I mean, she is learning from the biggest stars in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone is really talented in this movie.
Yeah.
But we have big stars, which are, of course, for example, Stellan Skarsgård,
Yes.
who is,
Skarsgård.
after all, who played, we all know him from Marvel movies. I mean, I would say lots of any other
Pirates
movies.
of the Caribbean. He plays almost in every Lars von Trier movie. And he played in Nymphomaniac with...
Yes, of course.
with
But
Connie
it's a
Nielsen.
very different movie than a Nymphomaniac,
Yeah, but
this
he
one.
just received the Golden Globe for the wonderful TV series Chernobyl. You know?
Of course, he
Yeah,
was the one.
He was one of the
he
main
played
characters.
marvelously there.
Yes.
I mean, really, he's a great actor, and in this movie, he performed also, I would say, fantastic. Like really, really, he was one of the best. And definitely, the power of his character kind of leads the story forward, even though he
Yeah.
plays a German.
He plays a German, but he's half Austrian, half German in that film. He is actually a great star who tries to help, you know, people who are not pro-Hitler. I cannot tell too much because then...
He's like a little bit like Wagner there. I mean, especially they are singing Wagner, and with the scarf, there's an
Yeah.
element of it.
But
But of course, I would say, but it's engaging, and it's an element also which shows that Poland those times, especially, which was very international, and they were not people who were not educated, who didn't contact the world, or who had no knowledge about what's going out there. But they had huge contacts. They speak different languages.
yeah, he's playing the most famous German-speaking tenor, and he comes to Łódź to perform on a regular basis. And his sister, who is Austrian, she runs the school, the music school in Łódź, because she got married to a Polish guy who was the school owner. But, you know, she decided to stay there after he died, and she lives in Poland. And she also performs. She's a great pianist, not only
So
a
the
school
music
owner.
plays, of course, a huge role in it. So, but talking about the sister, it's
Yeah,
Fidra
it's
and it's played by
Connie
Connie
Nielsen.
Nielsen.
Yeah.
And she also plays one of the main roles in the movie.
Yeah, it's a very important role.
I would say directing all the kids, showing them through the world at the very beginning and making them career exist. I would say it's such an important role of a teacher as well. We forget that the teacher has such an impact on children, and it's very true. It usually has. And later on, she's, of course, she opposes the Germans, but we cannot say too much.
Too
okay.
much, yeah. But still, she's a little bit like an angel in our film. She's there where somebody is needed, you know, in a very difficult situation.
Yeah, and she never gets too upset about things. I mean, she needs to leave her school and flee Poland for a second, but she's like, okay, happens. we'll live forward. She's, I would say, very strong.
That was the concept of our director, to make her that way, because Connie Nielsen would be more dramatic, but our director thought she should be more calm. But then it's very powerful in a scene, you know, in a dramatic scene when she gets, you know, touched, and she really, we can see how much she suffers by seeing somebody who suffered much more than she did.
If you want to see Stellan Skarsgård, Connie Nielsen, Adeline Clemens, and Leo Suter in one movie which takes place in Poland, watch I'll Find You. Because definitely this is a production which we haven't seen for a very long time, and all Poles are kind of waiting for such kind of movies. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.